mediocrity is actually true. Now, you have individuals, any field, whether it is media, whether it is film, whether it is politics, and all of them are questioning their narrative. And simple example, whether it is in psephology, I've seen frauds who never had access to any primary data. I have come across journalists who do not come prepared with their debate, who debate on farmer protests, but they do not know exactly what the full form of MSP is. So all of this has been now questioned in social media. Nobody today can claim that he's forming the narrative of this country. Earlier, the issue was that the media thought that who should be the prime minister and who should not be the prime minister would be decided by few channels in Noida. Now, that is no longer the scenario. Whatever the mainstream channels can run, want to run, that cannot be against the will of the people of the country. So what has happened is that for the first time in this country, you have a prime minister who's become a full-time Sanatani prime minister, not because of the media, but despite of the media. So when that has taken place, the media has to adjust itself on understanding that it has to only show what the people of the country are thinking, no longer in order to impose their opinion of what they think should be the people of India thinking. So now it doesn't happen that the editor will say, oh, this should be what the people are thinking. No, the editor has to take the feedback, and whatever is the ground pulse, whether it is from the ground or the social media, the editor has to only reflect that. That is what has changed. So if I ask you that today we are for the first time after 70 years living in a truly democratic spirit and democratic mind space. And there are few YouTubers who live in Germany who've never visited this land, who only believe in recording a video from YouTube studio in Germany and never travel to the country, say that this country is going dictatorial. I ask them that if that tenet and logic is applied, then that tenet and logic should be applied in places like West Bengal, where I am seeing Sandesh Kali, and not even one journalist from Bengal who is not speaking the narrative that the state government wants to speak to is not filed an FIR. So if true dictatorial media is run in this country, it is run by respected state governments, because the business model of state-run channels are such that it cannot thrive without state government advertising. So if you want to speak about truly democratic individuals at the state government level, it will be those on the social media. So if I look at it, I completely second what Prafulji has said, that I am seeing that today, if you have content, if you have primary research, you are no longer an individual who will be stopped by the gatekeepers in any field. So that is where the frustration is, that the have-nots who had mediocrity in their mind, who had secondary research in their mind, are now being truly called out by those who have credibility and content and primary research.
Vanakkam to all. Vanakkam to my panelists, co-panelists. Jai Shri Ram from a Chennai wala. That is the first big change. That is the first big change that has occurred in media. And see, if I have to point to finer details, they've been talking about the macro details, I'll point to the finer details, the ones that the media personnel will miss the most. It's traveling with the Prime Minister's entourage, having costly champagnes, tasting the best wines, and staying in the topmost hotels in the world at public exchequer's cost. That is the biggest media change that has occurred. It has been cancelled out for all the top journalists who took pride in doing that. And the second, fascist thing the current government has done is they've taken away the right to live telecast all the terrorist shootings, so that, terrorists can take cue from, okay, special forces are landing here, chalo, we will change our strategies. That democratic right has been taken away by the BJP government. That is yet another change that has happened. And so much so that the mainstream media has become so outdated that all the top names that you have, they have individual YouTube channels competing with us. All the top channels, they have their own YouTube channels because they know for a fact that the size of the viewership or the size of the watch screen is shrinking. It's now shrunk to the size of a mobile phone, and data points towards interesting trends, very interesting trends and healthy trends, which can kick away the gatekeepers. You don't need a gatekeeper. There is no more entry-level barriers. So democracy is about individuals. It's about individual consensus and not institutional consensus. The major change that has occurred in the last 10 years is it's about individual consensus and no more about institutional consensus at Noida or Delhi or top boardrooms of all these media organizations. So anybody with the will and the right intention can start pushing narratives. So that is the biggest thing that has happened. And I believe that with 30 crore Twitter accounts and roughly 50 crore Instagram and Facebook accounts, India leads the world. So roughly $1.45 billion is the advertisement cost in these platforms last year. $1.45 billion, which points out to the fact that people are putting their money where the eyeballs are. And people are putting their money where the eyeballs are. And so politicians will start taking up this space. Political narrative will be set in this space. So no more there is any need for these big institutions to tell us what is needed. Data and current events are being personalized according to choices. So this is a very welcome change in current scenario. And I think I've been a beneficiary of it. I run a YouTube channel and then of course I got into the party. So I understood one thing, that you don't have to depend on these gatekeepers anymore, which is a welcome change. And I'm sure as the show progresses, we will be pointing towards details, how social media narratives are very important in current day trends.
Thank you so much for that. You all mentioned social media. So last year in September, we had this watershed, do we call it watershed? Udayanidhi Stalin's Eradicate Sanatan Dharma remarks. Now this video was clipped and posted on Twitter by an anonymous account, and slowly it picked up, and Commune also created an article on that. That also, it was shared widely. The video was subtitled and it reached the north. Do you think this, how do you, the eradicate those remarks had an impact on the Hindi belt elections? And if they did, will the current narrative, that is the tax devolution charges and on the farmer protests and things happening, will they have an effect on the upcoming elections?
Pradeep is the right person perhaps to talk about this, but what I can tell you for sure, because when we first saw that an organizer did a cover story on Sanatan Dharma controversy, and suddenly it became a big news all over. I don't know what will happen to Tamil Nadu politics and DMK. Congress definitely is on the back foot, because Congress is finding it difficult to continue with this dotted alliance after Sanatan Dharma remarks, because everywhere Congress is being questioned on this. And for their misfortune, Kharge's son came out in support, and Karnataka also started resonating the same tone. So it again connected with not just Udayanidhi, but Kharge dynasty and the Gandhi dynasty. So the dynastic politics and their anti-Sanatana stand, that also narrative got pushed somewhere in the... So what has happened, Rudya, because of this, social media thing is, narratives are all about stories. So you tell certain stories in a particular fashion, and then you establish them as so-called mainstream. Right? What used to happen, that the stories about India or political correctness about the stories always used to be from a prism that was guided by the left liberal ideological thing. So it's fine if you are mocking or abusing, Hindu sentiments, but that was considered as liberal. But in the same breath, because liberal has to be secular, so everybody who is a liberal, secular and intellectual cannot have the same rule for any other religious sentiment. That had changed drastically. And if this trend continues, you are asking me for 2024, I think, yes, Sanatan Dharma negatively will definitely have an impact on India Alliance, but at the same time, I think Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha will positively have impact on the... So it is a kind of, mix of both that is going to decide the outcome of 2024.
So So will these farmer protests also have an impact?
I don't think it has exhausted as an ammunition, I believe. Whatever impact is there, it is going to be in Punjab or some parts of Haryana. Uttar Pradesh, I think the western part is largely out of this agitation mode now. Nobody is standing with tickets for this. Rest of the places where already anti-BJP space is there may be some regional parties who will try to, instigate in the name of farmers' protest. But, all over, if you think as a Lok Sabha election, I see I think this is a last effort by the entire alliance of forces. I'm not talking about just the India alliance. India alliance is just the political, expression of it. I'm talking about the global forces, ideological forces that have come against rising Bharat. I think this is the last ditch that they are making just before elections, such somehow some form of violence will actually have. But I personally believe that it will be a wishful thinking. So, Pradeep?
So let me, Prafulji highlighted a lot of points. Let me answer your question as straight as possible. Do I see a rise of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Tamil Nadu, and do I see a counter-polarization taking place because of Udayanidhi Stalin's statement and Congress suffering massively? The answer to both of them is yes. And I do not say any of these as my opinion. I state as pure facts, and I'll give you basic examples. See, before coming here, the last week, I was in Tamil Nadu for at least 3 to 4 days. And I traversed to different parts of Tamil Nadu. I traversed to Tenkasi, I traversed to Coimbatore, I was in South Chennai. What I could see as a marked difference this time vis-a-vis 2019 is last time I was seeing a hate for the Bharatiya Janata Party and non-acceptance for the BJP in 2019. Right now, I am seeing individuals coming across openly and saying that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done good for the country. Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha is a huge thing. I have come across women who've told me that when 22nd January Pran Pratishtha took place, in their villages they had lit diyas, and they're all ladies in interior parts of Tamil Nadu. I see an acceptance for Annamalai happening gradually in different parts of Tamil Nadu. So the barrier which was there in the Dravidian politics, where anybody from center was looked as somebody who's a Hindi heartland person, somebody against the Dravidian culture, that has been broken by the Prime Minister. And this is where I see a party which was at 3% vote share will be doing significantly well this time. And you will see that because the psyche and that barrier has changed. See, politics is always a 10-year journey. So what happens tomorrow, I don't know, but definitely that has changed. Now, with respect to the Congress, see, the Congress party today is no longer, you need to understand, and this I completely second with Prafulji, is a front of forces which believe that ultimately this country should not be governed forward by accepting Sanatan. Rahul Gandhi today is the poster boy, and if you see his speeches, understand entire methodology with Congress is working, it's gone to the extreme far left. Now Congress got 52 seats last time. And out of those 52 seats, 23 seats came from Punjab and Kerala. This time Congress is no longer the primary party in Punjab. So with respect to the farmer protest, there is nothing for the BJP to lose because BJP was not the primary party in Punjab. Whatever happens, again, if the AAP does or the Congress loses, it's for the Congress to lose. Imagine the scenario of Congress that a seat like Bharuch, which belonged to Ahmed Patel for more than 3.5-4 decades, that it has outsourced to the Aam Aadmi Party. So Congress Party in 2024 might end up seeing its worst performance. In fact, in Rai Bareli, the fact that Sonia Gandhi contests from a Rajya Sabha seat, because I have travelled there and can tell you from the ground that for even Rai Bareli, people want Narendra Modi's development, and the last 3 elections in Rai Bareli, Sonia Gandhi and Congress's vote share is reduced by 7-8%. 2009 it was 70% plus, 2014 it was 60 something, and 2019 elections was 52-53. So you will see that decline. So Yes, and you are not living in an era in this country where, say, Udayanidhi Stalin gives a statement in Tamil Nadu, it will not have an effect in other parts. India today, when information decentralization with every video reaching a WhatsApp is connected. So if you think that Udayanidhi Stalin, ridicules the Sanatan Dharma and the Congress party does not condemn it and still continues to be in that alliance, it will definitely affect. You saw Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, where despite all the hua, what happened to the Congress party? In all the three elections, it was wiped out. In fact, even in tribal belts of Bastar, where the Congress did not lose, even in 2013 and 18 when Raman Singh was there, this time the BJP could get votes. So you are seeing at this moment and up to 2024, all these statements definitely affecting, but you are seeing a huge surge of Sanatan, and as in the Ayodhya Ram Mandir has connected with the hearts of the people. And this change you will see in May when the results will come up, because people are saying कि ये जो सोचा था हमने कभी हो ही नहीं सकता और ये हो गया है. This is something which is completely different. So I would rate this even above economic development, because this is to do with the core of who we are. That's what I can say.
Hridaya, your question was, how is the social media narrative going to be different with respect to these two incidents? One is the farmer protest, and if we are so positive that it is because of Sanatana Dharma narrative of Udayanidhi Stalin that we were able to win the North Indian states convincingly, will it not have the same effect with respect to the farmer protests? See, you're comparing chalk and cheese here. With respect to the statements of Udayanidhi Stalin, I think it's the confessional statement of a dynast, which carries so much value. It is like admitting to crime, that we've been saying that these people are against the Sanatana Dharma for ages. But his grandfather had the wisdom and the political subtlety to do it very subtly. He didn't do it overtly. He did it covertly. But this person does not have the understanding or political maturity to handle this differently. So this is more of a statement of guilt, admission of guilt, where he said openly that our intention is to eradicate Sanatana Dharma, which is 80% of the faith of this population. So he wants to eradicate. Whereas the other protests that keep happening, that keeps happening on a routine basis. But there is a key difference in the way these protests are being handled by BJP and Congress. Take the case of India against corruption. There was no ground connect with the protesters, but ground connect is being established silently by the BJP. And simultaneously, the narrative war is being won in the social media, where all the fallacy of these protesters, all these so-called poor farmers are being exposed simultaneously, when BJP is doing everything it can to engage with the protesters. Just like we engage with China, just like we engage with talks in all possible ways, we are doing the same internally also. Now coming to the next point about DMK's presence here, DMK's Sanatana Dharma, will it actually have an effect here? We have enough material with us to counter DMK even without Sanatana Dharma in Tamil Nadu. Because the very presence of DMK is enough for people to be dissatisfied. All they have to do is rule for 5 years. People will give them a sabbatical for 10 years. Case in point, last elections, 2011, you saw them, they were out of power for 10 years. So every time there is a valid opposition, every time there is a strong opposition, a viable opportunity in Tamil Nadu, people go and grab it. And that is why this time we are super confident, and I'm sure Ketkarji and Bhandariji will agree that they have seen it on the ground. The swell for Mr. Annamalai, which is something unheard of. So we had options like Vijaykanth or a flash in the pan like Mr. Kamal Hassan. Both. We had options, but they were not viable, sustainable options. So we have a long-term plan of establishing Sanatana Dharma here. So we are not worried about it at all. So we're going to take the fight there. We're going to set the narrative game. We are going to go on the offensive, defensive. There is no more defensive here. So be rest assured, it will be reflected in the polls. And I'm sure...
So the biggest change is, we are having a lit fest in Chennai. We are having faces who are not termed as, the fascist, and they are not journalists, and we are able to speak whatever we want. And, earlier it used to be a prerogative of only leftist journalists to be an independent journalist. Now editor organizer can come, Karthik can come, Pradeep can come and speak. That itself is a big change.
Sir, that being said, freedom of press, freedom of speech is a big question, because last year at least, I can't remember, but there have been several instances of, curbing of freedom of speech, especially in non-left, how do you say, the non-left was targeted, especially in Tamil Nadu. You have West Bengal. The commune was also targeted last year for merely reporting a press meet held by Dikshitars in Chidambaram. So even now Sandesh Khali is happening, but reporters are not being allowed there, or those who are trying to report FIRs are being filed and stuff like that. So press has, the left has come up with this freedom of speech khatre mein hai, democracy khatre mein hai, and all that. How do you think, what are your thoughts on this? How should we, how is this narrative going to be
It is the same as Islam khatre mein narrative. You know, the people who actually kill the democratic voices, I always ask that the media freedom depends on who is owning the media and who is funding the media. These two sources are going to decide your narratives. Delhi media will never talk anything against the Aam Aadmi Party government simply because it is the 800 crore advertisement revenue. The same is true with the DMK government. None of the, these channels will ever try to speak against the government. Whether corruption charges are true or not is not the point. The point is whether you are reporting the reality or not. Sandesh Khali is true or not, the investigation agencies will find out. But if some narrative that is built in last 10 years, and they will try continuing that in the coming days, post 2024, as they have been saying that there will be no democracy after it. Every election to 2019 also they were saying this is the last election. Now 2024 also they are saying this is going to be the last election. If Modi gets elected, there will be no democracy. So you create a, fake narratives. There was one researcher in, I think, Michigan, who did first thesis on Hindu militancy and religious or fanatic politics, something like that. He was J. Karan. He did his first research in 1951. Around the same period, there was one pastor in Kerala who wrote a book on RSS. This was about RSS. The other book was also on RSS, written not by RSS cadre, by a Kerala pastor. And he wrote a book that RSS, the true carrier of Hindu Swaraj. No PhD on RSS has ever quoted this book on, RSS as true carrier of Hindu Swaraj. Everybody has quoted J. Karan. That is the difference. Yeah, that's because if you are doing a PhD, at least in your literature review, you should at least quote him that there such literature exists. But it is not there. So the selectivism, and if your freedom depends on selectivism, then it is not freedom. It may be golden cage, or maybe it is, a freedom that allows you to set what kind of cabinet you will have, what kind of policies you have, and what Karthik said about, what kind of travel or what kind of class you will get while traveling with Prime Minister. Many people have lost, it is a direct attack on many people's roji roti. So, they will have a narrative of freedom of press in danger.
See, this whole core of freedom of press not being there, democracy not there, democratic values in question. Let us look at it very factually. as of October 2023, there were 13 governments in this country, state governments, which did not have a BJP rule. Now, from December 2023, still 10 governments are there which did not have a BJP rule. It is not the problem of those who believe in Sanatan or those who believe in, say, Hindu religion, those who believe in taking the Sanatan values forward, that the Sanatan is accepted in quote-unquote non-traditional geographies. 2014, Bengal did not had Bharatiya Janata Party getting 20 seats, 18 seats. What happened in a time span of 5 years? The same geography, which was considered to be the bastion of the left per se, got 18 seats to the BJP with a 40% vote share. Telangana, which till 2014 was completely obsolete. The RSS will not be accepted in Telangana. You will not see people saying Jai Shri Ram in Telangana. What happened in 2019? The BJP got 4 seats and 14% vote share, 19% vote share, which is a jump of more than 100 to 150%. Northeast, Prafulji has worked so integrally there. Well, remember, people used to say, no, this is a different culture. How can this accept individuals, RSS? How can it accept the political party which believes in, Sanatan? What has happened in Northeast right now? It is swept completely by saffron. I have stayed in Tripura in 2 successive elections for months, and I have seen development work on the ground. I've seen people accepting ideology on the ground. Now, why is this happening across geographies? Why is it that the graph of those who believe in Sanatan is increasing? 2009, the Congress party got 10 crore votes in this country. 2014 also it got roughly 10 crore votes in this country, and around in 2019 also it got roughly between 10 to 11 crore votes in this country. 2009 the BJP got 7 crore 80 lakh votes in this country. 2014 it increased to 15 crores, and in 2019 it increased to 22 crores. So which means this additional 15 crore are not individuals who've always said Jai Shri Ram. Those are new people who've accepted Sanatan, who've accepted the ideology, who've accepted the leader. So what is happening gradually? That India is gradually turning saffron, or you can say that India is gradually going back to its roots. So it's not if Prafulji will today say something to the audience, and if the audience does not believe in it, it's not necessary that the audience will buy that argument. Similarly, if the voter does not believe in it, the voter will not take it forward. The truth is that falsehood has been defeated, and it is getting defeated gradually in every geography. And this is why you see that every second land is turning saffron, because Bharat traditionally was always saffron. And that myth has always been broken. This is why you see that the baseline of the thinking has changed. Today in this country, no longer can you get the popular will by ridiculing Ram, ridiculing Sanatan. That has changed in the last 70 years for the first time, being a democratic nation. That is what I can tell you.
See, I have a simple test, Rudya. For last 75 years, RSS is the most abused organization in India. And in last 20 years, Modi is the most abused political leader in India. But nobody has got arrested for that. You try that in Tamil Nadu. Every time Rahul Gandhi says this, and I'm quite surprised, how blatantly he does that. He will come to the stage, call Prime Minister Chor, make baseless allegations about oil, about Adani, about Ambani, everything. And after coming down, he will tell media, press freedom khatam ho gaya. Oh, you are making outrageous statement right now, and nobody is questioning that. Here, people will think twice, even speaking truth. About DMK, about Udayanidhi, everybody will think twice. Why? This is the difference.
In fact, all these people, all these, people who are on the YouTube, which Karthik was talking about, who criticize the Prime Minister, 90% of their revenue comes for criticizing the Prime Minister. So, the person who's responsible for giving them so much of revenue is Modi bashing. So, they should be the first people to thank Narendra Modi, because of which inka ghar chal raha hai pure ke puri tarike se.
Exactly, and the point is, see, if you're talking about threat to democracy and threat to freedom of press, who handles law and order? It's a state subject. So majority of the cases, last week, there was a case on a BJP Karyakarta for participating in a hashtag, which was going viral all along. So we were remembering the martyrs of the Coimbatore bomb blast, who sacrificed their lives. I mean, there was a hashtag for that, and cases were put for this simple thing. So who is behind this cancel culture? Who is behind this anti-democratic culture? It is definitely not the BJP. And I, to a certain extent, believe that the BJP is very soft. Because we have roughly 90% of the YouTube space here, where they abuse the Prime Minister, they abuse Hinduism. It's okay to abuse a political personality, but they abuse Hinduism, and one case on 295A is not registered in Tamil Nadu. So it's definitely not the BJP that is opposing the press freedom. It is definitely the non-BJP states that is doing it. Also, all these people who complain about this lack of freedom of press, they are in bed with Congress. They are in alliance with the Congress, which is the worst case that has occurred to Indian press freedom. That is 1977. And people who were allegedly beaten up by them are now close friends with them. Okay, so the so-called Mr. Stalin is close friends with them. So I don't think for a second that it has got to do anything with the BJP, but it has got everything to do with the non-BJP. And talking about narratives, I think every time they tried a narrative with Modi ji, they have failed. They called him Panauti, they failed. They called him Maut Ka Saudagar, they failed. They called him Chaukidar Chor Hai, they failed. So I urge the Congress and the Congress Karyakartas, especially our most vocal proponent, Shri Rahul Gandhi, to start such hashtags and to indulge in such narratives, because there cannot be a more able ambassador than him. So we wish him best of luck for that, and I hope it makes our work easier. Being the Vice President of BJP IT cell, we have to thank these two personalities, and if I get to meet them in person, I'll certainly do that. One is Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, another is Udayanidhi Stalin. You make a... So we want more from you, and we are waiting.
So yeah, we have come towards the close. So this question is to Pradeep. We have heard this several times, but we want to hear it again. Will it be 400 par this time? How will Tamil Nadu fare? Annamalai's impact.
See, I will not reveal all the numbers because you're still going ahead with it, but what I can tell you that before coming to Chennai, I was in Odisha, and I was in this district called as Ganjam, which is considered to be the stronghold of Naveen Patnaik. He comes from that home district. I was shocked to see that I am seeing a swell for Prime Minister Narendra Modi even in the home district of Naveen Patnaik. Now, what I can tell you for sure, and this is not out of just my political conviction, but this is after looking at the data which is coming in the last 1 week repeatedly, and somewhere around first week of March is when it will stabilize, that what I am seeing from the data is that Narendra Modi in 2020-24 has very, very high probability to come with an even bigger mandate than 2019, even bigger mandate than 2014. It is very simple. There are 11 states in this country where Prime Minister Narendra Modi's graph can increase. 18 states where the graph can repeat as what it was in 2019. There is not a single state, if I can tell you from the audience, where there is a huge depreciation which is taking place. But there are many states where there is an appreciation taking place. Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. Bengal is still at a state of flux, so I will not comment. These are 3 states. Maharashtra, Bihar is repeating what it is in 2019. And at the same time, Congress is weaker than what it was in 2019. So do not be surprised if the Congress party struggles to touch the 40-seat mark, because 50% of the seats of the Congress were from 2 states where it is weaker. It is weaker in Bastar, it is weaker in Jharkhand, it is weaker in Rai Bareli. So this election in 2024 has to be watched, because this is the mother of all elections. Because if the Congress does not touch even a 40-45 seats mark, you might see a split in the Congress party because the brothers lobby does not like the sisters lobby, the sisters lobby does not like the brothers lobby. Both are failed products. Priyanka was launched in UP 2022. Out of 403 seats, Congress lost 401 seats. Rahul has been launched 52 times, I think, more than anybody could be launched, and 52 times he's failed. So you have to see what nobody could have imagined after independence might take place in 2024, whereas that if the Congress is less than 45-40, a split in the Congress can take place.
After 9 years of experience, we have started calling Pradeep as veteran. After 20 years of launching, he is still coming to an age. I don't know the case with Udayanidhi, but as far as Rahul Gandhi, this is true.
That answers who controls the funding of those newspapers and press.
You have something to say as a BJP member yourself?
See,
No, he is essentially a media person who happens to be in BJP. A social media activist who is in BJP.
Very true, sir. Very true, sir. So a lot of people keep asking me. The first question they ask is, okay, you have crowds. Initially, they used to be like, there won't be much of a turn up for Annamalai's Padayatra. And then it was like, okay, you're paying them for this. And then they were like, okay, it's organic, but will it be for all the 234 constituencies? And then when we are going to end the Padayatra, there's a swell on the ground. Yeah, will it translate to vote? So all I tell them is wait and watch. Because there is a combined anti-incumbency for these Dravidian parties ever since there has been electoral politics post-1947. So there is a combined anti-incumbency for them. But the biggest problem is there was no one single personality or party they could entrust their vote with. Now that we have got the full backing of the central command and an able leader who can deliver his promises, people are waiting for it. And we've done enough damage already. We release files and most of them are jittery already. We've sent 2 people to jail. One is there. He pissed in his pants literally, and I'm sorry for that. But the other person is waiting to go to jail. And Monday there is a verdict coming up about ex-minister, and there is a line of verdicts to come. So we've done enough damage even before we are in power. And we've set the ball rolling. The biggest difference is now we are not in the defensive. We don't answer them. You can say what you want to, and we are leading the narrative game from front. So I am telling you, it is definitely going to be a number that is going to shock everybody, literally everybody. And of course, on the day of the verdict, we will talk more about it, because I am not supposed to talk numbers. He's a psephologist, he can talk numbers. I don't want to sound brutish or audacious and be called by the party high command to shut up. So I cherish my freedom of expression as of now. So I am telling you, we are going to put up a very brilliant show, and it is going to be historic.
What is power of narratives? You know, many people say, oh, BJP is not a party of South. You know, from 1967, Congress has not formed a single majority government in Tamil Nadu. From 1985, Congress has not formed a single majority government either in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar. There are many such states where Congress is almost non-existence from 1995. That is state like Gujarat, where, you know, they're barring last election, they are not even in contest. But nobody says that Congress is not the party of Tamil Nadu. In last assembly election, Congress has got 2.3% vote share in Uttar Pradesh. Assembly election. Has ever any media asked whether Congress is a party of Uttar Pradesh or not? So we need to rephrase our questions now, and on the basis of connect on the ground and the right voting percentage, we have to ask who is the national party and who is the regional party.
Just to add Prafulji's thing on this South versus North narrative, it's the most bogus narrative. There are 5 southern states, if I'm not wrong. The last time won majority seats, today or this time also the BJP JDS alliance, as of right now, is in a situation to sweep Karnataka. So state number 1. State number 2, Telangana, the BJP is getting more votes than what it got in 2019. So again, it is in much stronger position than 2019. State number 2. Andhra is a state which neither accepts the BJP or the Congress. So it's not a state where the Congress is accepted. It is Congress is in oblivion in Andhra Pradesh. Kerala is where the communists and the Congress fight. So I can give it, yes, there is a situation because there is a tacit understanding. Absolutely, with the alliance with the Muslim League for sure, and it is because of the pocket veto which is happening. So now the state of Tamil Nadu, that is also a state which is seeing the BJP rising as a party. So out of 5 states, 3 states are seeing a rise which is taking place. So I do not understand how do people give this bogus narrative which does not work on the ground. Out of 5 states, one party is rising and strong, and one state, neither of the 2 parties rising. So how is South voting for the Congress? It is factually wrong. It's actually factually wrong. I would have bought that narrative in 2014 or early 2014. But genuinely by facts, South is voting more for the BJP than what it had in 2014 and 19, and numbers tell this.
So thank you so much. Inferring from Pradeep's words, we don't know whether it will be 400 par, but aayega to Modi hi. So thank you so much, organizers. Thank you, panelists, for being very kind with a first timer like me. Thank you.
Are not against Ram. Lord Ram is part and parcel of our life, and we we adore him. And now it is to Pradeep. I request Mr. Shefali Vaidya to honor Karthik Gopinath. Karthik Gopinath, Tamil Nadu Bharatiya Janata Party State Vice President, Social Media Cell. Ms. Hridaya, please come to the center of the dais. Please come forward. Ms. Hridaya Ramani, journalist from the Commune. Thank you, panelists, for this wonderful session on the media narratives in this modern India. Thank you. And before we go for a tea break, we have a book launch here. May I request the guests to please remain on the dais, and I request Ms. Shefali Vaidya to join us, Dr. Rajkumar to join us, the VCs to join us. May I also request Sri M.K. Narayan and Dr. H.V. Hande to join us on the dais. There are 2 books here. We're going to see the launch of 2 books. Ms. Ami, please join us on the dais. The speakers, the morning session, if you're here in the hall, please come and join us on the dais. So there are 2 books here. The book titled Babur, The Chessboard King by Abbas. Ladies and gentlemen, please cheer us Abbas for the book Babur, The Chessboard King. And the other book titled The 7-Word Mantras by Dr. J.S. Rajkumar. The team Chennai Lit Fest congratulates the author and wish them a grand success. Seven-word mantras by Dr. J.S. Rajkumar. May I help you? Ladies and gentlemen, to the authors Abhas and Dr. J.S. Rajkumar for their books, respectively Babar and the seven-word mantras. Thank you, dignitaries.
Probably the only person in this room, apart from my wife, who has read the book is actually Dr. Hande. So many of you don't know, he's probably the senior most BJP politician in the state. He was MGR's right hand, and he was a health minister, and he was one of... Sir, I would like to request Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, sir, we're searching for you. Mr. Lakshmi Narayan also to come up. I need to say something about these three gentlemen whom I've requested to come on. Mr. M.K. Narayan, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan. Kada, can you just help Uncle, sir?
We can actually have a separate book release with them in our...
No, because this gentleman, sir, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan is the only, to my knowledge, only IAS officer who gave up all his savings completely, and gave it to make a Ram Charitra Manas, which is sitting with Ram Lalla in the mandir. That is the greatness of Mr. Lakshmi Narayan. Dr. Hande was the first man to break the back of Congress in 1967. He will probably tell you about it. So I just wanted to have all of them here. And Mr. M.K. Narayan is more like a father figure to me, a person who had to go through the drudgery of reading every book that I wrote and releasing them too.
Thank you. Congratulations to the authors. Audience, quick tea break. Please be back in 5 minutes for the next session. And when you are back, there are quite a good number of instructions because followed by... There is a session. I don't have 5 minutes.
I have my copy. I will give it back to them.
No, they won't go and come back. That's what I was told. I know that makes sense.